learn, I think, Python or Java. Uh, can you guys just raise your hands who know Python or Java, at least any one of that, at least C even? Yeah. I have, I can see only 10 or 12 people out of 50 people raising their hands. But I think most of you know what actually a language is, because we are having Python in our first year and Java in our second year. So JavaScript is also similar to those languages. You can down your hands, guys. See, so for example, when you are taking a website, you will have three things. First thing is like elements. For example, you are seeing JavaScript on your screen, right? You can take, for example, we can take it as a text element. Let us take it as some heading element. This element will be given by our HTML language, and the color of it is which is in white color here, given by our CSS. Even the font or something will be given by the CSS. But when you are going to some e-commerce website or some interactive websites, when you are clicking on some buttons, you will have some buttons, you will have some forms there, you will have submit buttons, you will have login systems like authentication will be there. All these things, how these things are being organized, we can't do these things with HTML or CSS, right? So we need a logical language which we can give instructions to our system so that it will work based on our programming. For such no programming, we need JavaScript. Why we use JavaScript means JavaScript is built like it, like for example Java, you have Java language, right? For Java you should need like Java runtime environment, JRE. But for JavaScript it will run itself in browsers. We have Firefox, right? We have Google, Chrome, and these are the browsers. These browsers itself will have uh, these browsers it itself will have the like what we'll say, the console for the JavaScript. Those browsers can understand JavaScript and they run itself, and they will execute the JavaScript code. So we use JavaScript with HTML, CSS to have dynamic features to it. So let's start our session. So I will actually, as I mentioned, JavaScript is a powerful language like Java and Python. It will take more time to teach every concept of JavaScript. So we are just by end of the session, I can assure you guys, like you know what actually JavaScript is, and how it is different from other languages. What are the some core differences? What are the some special nature of JavaScript? It helps us to use with our HTML and CSS, and how we are using JavaScript with our HTML and CSS. To some advanced topics we may not be covered in this session. I am already saying said you that it is a very huge topic. Like JavaScript is a huge language. It have built from so many years, so we can't discuss it in 1.5 hour or 2 hours. So let's start with JavaScript. Yeah. Coming to the introduction to the JavaScript, uh, like we will discuss the theory part, and we will do the uh, like what practical things also. So first of all, what actually JavaScript? Like JavaScript is a lightweight interpreted programming language primarily used to make a web pages interactive. As I mentioned earlier, we use JavaScript to make web pages interactive because JavaScript is very well organized with our browsers. It is a core technology of the web alongside HTML and CSS. We use this JavaScript to add dynamic features to the static websites which were made on HTML and CSS. And you can see an image here, right? It is showing how actually JavaScript is being executed in backend of the browser. See, JavaScript code is taken as an input, then you are having a parsing. What actually parsing? Parsing is a some method which will be executed on our code what we are writing, to make it more easy for the compilation. Then it will go for compilation. Once the code is compiled, the file will be executed. Executed by what? Actually, the um, like Chrome engine. We will have separate engines for Chrome, um, like Microsoft Edge. It will have some separate engine. Google Chrome will have version 7 is going on actually. It will have some separate engine. Those engines will compile the execute the compiled code of JavaScript after once the compiled code is optimized. So we all also mentioned the optimization step here, and this is all about JavaScript, the basic introduction about the JavaScript. When we go deeper, how actually JavaScript is different from the Python and Java, I'm showing in this slide. For example, we have variables. I think most of you know what actually the variables are. um, if you don't know, we are going to discuss even that in this session. Don't worry, I'm just want to mention variable term here to compare these languages. So when we are typing the code in these languages, we don't need any, like in JavaScript, we don't need any declaration of the type to the variable. For example, in Java, whenever you are assigning a 10 value, like normal integer value 10 to a variable, you should mention it as a int or float or double. Even in Python and JavaScript, we may not need those type of assignment. And primary use case for this JavaScript is front end and back end, whereas in Python it is data science. We all of us know that, because it is the booming technology in nowadays. And for Java, what why we use Java means, for the even for websites we use Java in the backend. For the large scale sites where we require more privacy and security features, as it gives the abstraction and all. And execution, our JavaScript is a JIT compiled. Like you can see here, it is a browser engines of version 8 are going now. And Python is interpreted line by line, execution will be there. And Java will be compiled in Java, and it will be bytecode for the Java virtual machine. When it comes to syntax, we use curly braces for blocks, and semicolon is optional in JavaScript. But for a clean code, we use Java semicolons in JavaScript too, because readability and understandability of the code will be increased once we use semicolons. I also mentioned what actual semicolon, where we use, and the practical session. And indentation is very important in Python. We don't need any indentation in Java or JavaScript. Okay. And concurrency, like JavaScript is a like it won't have any multi-threading type of things. It is asynchronous nature. Only one process can be executed only if the dependent process is executed prior to this process. um, it is a something, what I'm saying, you may not get the point actually. In operating systems, you may have learned like synchronous and asynchronous nature of the threads, like the programs. If some chunk of the code is dependent on the other chunk of the code's output, then one in Java we can execute both simultaneously. But when it comes to JavaScript, we can't execute them simultaneously. Only the dependent chunk of code should be executed only once the dependable elements or the resources are ready for it. And when it comes to community support, like or we call these coding, every all coders as a single entity, as a community. In this community we will have some subdomains. So when it comes to JavaScript, it will be completely contribute to the community of web development, focused on highly active forms. When it comes to Python, it is helping largely in data analysis, data analytics, and data science, AI, machine learning, deep learning, and everything. um, Java actually helps us in enterprise, like app development and those stuff. And now, variables in JavaScript. I think you guys know variables are the something like containers in all the programming languages, even in JavaScript, even in Python, even in Java, you will have variables. What actually variables? Variables are the containers for the something what you are using in your code. Like for example, you are using institution of engineers, it's a title. You are using this string as a uh, like a resource for your code. You want this string. So you how this system storage should understand you are having that. So there should be a container to keep that resource. So these variables will act as the containers for the resource you are going to use in your project or some code. For every language, there will be a standard declaration pattern for the variables. In JavaScript, we are having three types of declarations for the variables. It is var, let, const. Um, what actually they differ, how actually they differ means, where is something which was used in previously before versions of the JavaScript. Now also we can use var, but mostly you can see in code bases only let will be used. What actually the minute, there is a minute difference between var and let. We will discuss in some practical examples coming soon. And const, what actually const, if you are declaring a variable with where or let, you can change the value of the uh, that particular variable later in the code. But when it comes to const, you can't change the variable which was declared with const in the runtime. Um, so in coming here, see, you are having some parts of code here. We declared name. Name is John with a var. When like I think print statement in the Python, right? And system.out.println in JavaScript. Sorry, Java. Similarly, in JavaScript, you will have console.log. Why we are saying console here? If every browser have its own console where our JavaScript code is being run. So this is the runtime environment for the JavaScript in our browsers. Let me share the screen. Just give me confirmation. Like I'm stopping my screen because I'm only sharing this browser. I will share another page here. 1 minute. Okay. Can someone give confirmation that my screen is visible? Yeah, fine. Okay, okay. You can see my Chrome like home page right here. I think you guys can see that.
Sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what it is actually, it's a browser. See, it is a browser. What is like the our Chrome is a browser, but Chrome's homepage is also a part of like a website. It is also made on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So when I am going to inspect it, what actually inspecting means, doing post model to a human being, like we are doing post model to our website actually here. uh, okay. Okay, now you can see here elements. What are elements actually means? Whatever the things or items you have, like H1 tag, or what are the tags used by here in like HTML. Those things will be called as elements, and you can see here there is a portion called console. What is this console? This console is the runtime environment for our JavaScript. So here we can write our JavaScript code here itself. There is no need of any separate a runtime environment should be downloaded to our system and all. We can run here itself, or else in future we will see what are the other methods we can run JavaScript code. Okay, let's check what actually var, what actually let, what actually const. First, I am taking var. Var name is equal to So let's take a string here, IEI. So when I'm executing, you are getting a like it is undefined. Why it is undefined? What is actually the meaning of undefined? We will discuss in coming slides. Now I'm going to print name. We can print name directly in the console, like just by writing a variable name, we can print the stored the stored thing in that variable onto the console. See, when I'm writing name here, you can get IEI. And now I will change the value of name to web start. Okay, fine. So now name is changed to web start. Similarly, when I'm taking where a declaration with let, for example, let student name, let's take it as Deepak. And let's change student. Let's print student first. We are getting the value of the value at Deepak. Now let's try to change to something like VIT-AP. Like now sto is changed to VIT-AP. But when I am doing the same thing with const, let's change what actually the difference in the const. uh, Const something like a class is equal to C scope. Oh, okay. Actually, the class, like we use classes, right? We are having objects and classes in Java. Similarly, we have classes in JavaScript also. It's a reserved keyword. We should not use that. We will use some class scope. So variable is declared now. We are getting undefined as the output. And again, I'm trying to class. I'm getting the output as scope. Now let's try changing the value of class to sense. What it is giving? It is giving a error assignment to constant variable, like the variables which were declared using const keyword, we can't change the value of it. So by this we can understand what actually the difference between var, char, and const. Mostly var and let, you may not see any difference here because they're almost same. In some with there is a difference. I am going to discuss in the next slide. So this is the main difference. If you want to clear your console, you can clear using clear function. Clear. Okay, let's see next one. So these are the different types of declarations. If we don't want some variables value to be changed to something else during our runtime, we should use const with that. Like for example, what actually the pi value is a constant. It's a universal constant. We should never change the value of pi during our executions. So if we are working with pi, so we will give a declaration using const.
Yeah, guys, wait for a while.
Guys, sorry for the interruption. There is a small technical glitch, I think. I will share my screen again. Uh, Guys, to any one of you can share the in the comment box, like in the chat button, where I have stopped. Did I started with the what is the difference between let, var, and const? Did I? I have started. Okay. Start from there again. You stopped at pi and okay. Pi. So I have stopped in the okay. I have stopped at this page. So I will discuss this page again. Actually, in this page, it's visible now, right? You can see my screen, right? You can also. Thank you, Akhilesh. Okay. See, here in this slide, what we are going to discuss is what is actually the scope. Scope means when we are declaring a variable, the variable can't be used out of that scope. What is actually the global scope means if we are declaring a variable here in one part of the code, you can use that variable wherever you need in your file, like in your JavaScript file. But when it comes to function scope, if you are declaring a variable using that particular declaration type in that part of the function, you can't use those variables in out of the scope of the function, means out of the function. And when it comes to block scope, yeah, if you're declaring a chunk of variables in that particular chunk of the block of the code, you can't use those variables in out of that area. Here bottom you are having an example. See, if is a conditional statement with here we what is the condition we mentioned? True itself. So the statement is completely true for whatever the execution you are doing. So here the execution will be happen. I mean, like declaration of these x y z variables will happen. And now what I am doing here is with x, for x I am declaring it with var, and for y I am declaring it with let, for z I am declaring it with const. So what actually we are trying to find out in this particular image is, see, when I am trying to print x y z values out of this block of code, what is the block of code here? The if statement. So when I am trying to print x value, I am getting the value because it is where. So when I'm declaring with where, it is having global scope. It won't have any block scope. Like I can use it anywhere. So when we are using this, we will get some security issues. Like even someone new came to my code base, even he can use the variable I declared here, and he may change the value of my variable, which may cause some like problems with the uh, like on the production side. So we are using let and const. When we are using let and const in particular part of the code, it won't be changed out of that part, so we don't get any issues. I hope you got the point how this where and let are particularly different. So now data types in JavaScript. Similarly, as we are having data types in Java or Python, we are having two types of like mainly we are having two types of data types in JavaScript. One is primitive and another one is the non-primitive. And the most surprising thing in JavaScript is we will see in next slide. In the non-primitive types, you will it something which is completely different from other languages here is that. So in primitive, we are having string number. Like only we only have one number and big int. We don't have double and all. So string will be there, number will be there, big int will be there, boolean will be there, undefined, null, symbol. What are symbols? Symbol is something like I want to use it as a symbol somewhere in the code. I will use a symbol. String, whatever the thing we are writing using the alphabets and all, with the combination of the alphabets, it will be string. And number is the integers, floats, what are the values, like you can see here in the example part. 42 is a integer value, and a negative value -7, or else the float value, whatever you give, it will be number. And big int, what is big int? Something which is a completely very large from the normal range of the values we use in our daily life. And boolean values, we have only two values, true or false. What actually true or false? These are the logical statements. We use these logical statements. If something is true, we will give it as a value of true to access that part of the code. We will use this in coming activities. You will get there. And undefined, what actually undefined is, some in JavaScript, when you are initializing a variable or declaring a variable, but you are not initializing it. See, in console, I am declaring a variable. Let number is equal to 10, for example. What it is giving? When I am printing number, I am getting 10. But let now, now I am printing num. What it is giving? Undefined. That means you are not going to give any value for the declared variable, then it will show undefined. Is my screen visible? Like, have you seen the console? Yeah. So what next means? Here, null value. What actually null value is? For example, I am explicitly giving the value. Like, I don't want to give any integer value to it, so I am giving null value to it. So now I am printing num, it will get null value. It is how it is different from undefined. We are explicitly giving null value, and when it comes to undefined, if we are giving, no, giving nothing to it, then it is called undefined. And one more thing, guys, as we mentioned earlier, there is no need of declaring like it is a string, it is a integer, it is a big int to the JavaScript. It will understand itself. For example, what is type of num here? What is type of num here? Num is a object. It is taking it as a object here. Object is also a non-primitive type actually. Why it is taking num as a object means we given null value to it. But once I give num is equal to 10, and if I print type of num, it will get number. So, and if I am giving it, I declared num as an integer, but when I am giving a string value to it, it will again consider itself as a string. See, when I'm getting type of num, it is getting as a string. So it is a dynamic declaration of the variables. It happen in JavaScript. There is no need of explicitly giving the type of a variable. It will JavaScript itself will understand the type of the variable and give you. These are the primitive data types in JavaScript. What are non-primitive data types in JavaScript? Are non-primitive data types are something like mutable and stored as references in the memory. These things will be completely change. You can change these, and in memory allocation, these things will be like the references of these will be stored in the, not directly the maps of a map of the memory of this variable will be saved in the memory location of your disks. So what are we having in non-primitive data types are like object, array, function, and date. See, function itself is a data type in JavaScript. In other programming languages, we don't have function as a data type, I think. See, how, why we are saying it as a function as a data type here. See, let I am saying function. Take, I am writing a function here. Function which will name, what is the name of the function? Add to, and no need of any declaration of the variables types. So I'm taking m and n. And what it will give, console dot log of a m plus n. That's it. So we declared a function as a variable here. So whenever I am using this f and x, the variable name, it will directly point its memory location to the function what I have wrote here. See, for example, I am giving two values like arguments here, 5 and 4. When I'm printing it, I'm getting the value of 9. Why I'm getting the value of 9? This function is being executed when I'm calling the variable f and x with the arguments as 5 and 4. The console.log statement is being executed for 5 plus 4, which is 9. So we can also declare functions as a variables in JavaScript. See, these are the things what we have did in the console just now. This is for the non-primitive data types like arrays, objects, functions, and everything will be data types, not primitive data types in JS as we discussed. Whenever you try to print these things, you will get for example, this is a object in JavaScript. What actually the object in JavaScript means, you will have the key value pairs, like name is a key, ls is a value, age is a key, 22 is a value, yeah, with a curly braces. Declaring it to a variable. When we are printing type of it, it is an object here. Similarly, we did for other non-primitive data types. And what is NaN? Something what we cannot declare at all in the number system, like something, it is not possible. It is not a number at all. Then it is called as shortcut NaN will be printed for the output of that. For example, you can see the example here. The result is being declared by the variable declaration method let, and here a, B, C. It's a string. It is being divided by 2. Can we divide a string with a number? We can't do that. So the JavaScript, what it understands, no, we can't do this operation. So I will declare, I will assign NaN, which is not a number, to the result. So when I am printing the type of result, it is number, but the what it is not in the range of integers, any integer. It will be NaN. For example, let I am having let result is equal to IEI. It's a string. I'm trying to divide a string with some 10 value. When I'm printing result, I'm getting NaN. NaN is a not a number in JavaScript. Next, null versus undefined. This is the thing what we have already discussed. Null is something which will be explicitly assigned to the indicate there is no value. Undefined means a variable which is not actually declared is called undefined. These are the different things in Python, Java, and JavaScript. For example, we are having these data types, right? How we will declare these things in different languages. Printing statements in JavaScript. Printing statement is very important in every programming language, like to print whatever we are want to show to the user as a output, as a interface output, what we will see, just a thing, right? So we have to print that. In JavaScript, we use console.log to print the output. We also have some more printing statements like console.error, console.var, console.info, console.table. What are these things? Let's see. This is our console, right? I'm like console dot log of hello. We use comma to something print something with the in the like with other to concat with the strings in the print statement. So I'm printing hello with the result here. So what we are getting, hello nan. What is nan? Value of result is being printed here. Hello is the string. We are concating both and we are consoling it. And we are console dot var. What is actually console dot var? Console.1, we will get it as a warning here. What is the same thing what we are printing with the console.log is being also printed by the console.1, but actually the difference is it is getting us with a symbol called it is a warning. This is what will happen. Similarly, we are having like console.1, we have checked it. Console.info will be there, console.table will be there. What is actually table means, we will print the key value pairs whenever giving we are giving arguments as a key value pair. These key value pairs will be printed as the table there. You are also having alerts and prompts. These are the interactive things we are having in JavaScript. Let's check what actually alert and prompt. See, alert, please listen carefully. This is the warning our lectures give us every day, right? Let's see. You are getting a pop-up. Please listen carefully. What it is? It is a alert. What it is the like inbuilt default feature alert by JavaScript. One more thing we will have is prompt. What is actually prompt? Prompt is something you can enter there. Hello, hello. Enter your name. What is this prompt? See, I can enter my name here. This is the prompt by JavaScript. My name, what is my name? There you go. Harsha. This is my name. Okay. So I'm getting Devaharsha as the output here, right? When I'm entering in the prompt, I'm getting this as a declaration to the variable. If whenever I like whatever the things you do in these websites and all, you will get some prompts. You have to enter some like login credentials or something. These credentials will be sent to backend using APIs. What is a API, application programming interface? You will learn when you are going to the backend. And as of now, we are dealing with only the front end side of the web development, so we don't require that. So now alerts and prompts are done. Operators. Similar to the Java and Python, you have arithmetic operator, assignment operator, bitwise operator, logical operator, all these types of operators in JavaScript too. For example, arithmetic operator, what is this plus is for addition. You can have the example here. Negative sign is for subtraction, multiplication, you use star, and slash for division. Modulus, we know we will get a reminder value. For example, 7 is divided by 3. What is the reminder? 3 to 6. We will get a 1 as a reminder. So we are getting 1 as the output. And double star. What is double star in JavaScript? Double star in JavaScript is for exponentiation. Means 2 double star 3 is 2 power 3. Means 2 cube. It is 8. And when it comes to assignment operator, the assignment operator is something which we will use to like we are trying to store something other value into the variable. We are using assignment operator. Okay. We use equals to, we know we will assign x is equals to 5 means x value will be assigned as 5. plus or equals to, we use these type of things when we are repeatedly doing something, means in loops. I know most of you know Python or JavaScript, so you know what actually the loops are. Even we are going to discuss them now in coming slides. I'm just mentioning we are using, we are going to use these things in loops and all. And operators in JS. What operators? We are discussing right now. So comparison operator. So normal equal is uh, used for declaring it. And when it comes to double equals to, it is actually comparison. It is used for comparison. We are also having one more thing in the JavaScript. We are having two comparison operators using equals to symbol. See, two equals to are combinedly used to compare the two variables in the two values in the JavaScript. Whenever 5 is equal to 5, yes, it is giving true value, because 5 is a integer value or number value here, but another 5 is a string value here, but still it is giving true. That means the value is considering as number value itself for the by the JavaScript when we are using only two equals. But when we are using three equal to symbols, it is strictly equal to. That means the the type of the uh, values also will be checked. So it is giving the number and the string, it is giving false. And similarly, we have not equals to, strictly not equals to. Greater than symbol is, yeah, we know it is like 10 is greater than 5, then we will get true value. Then less than is there, greater than or equals to is there, less than or equals to is there. And next, logical operators used to combine or negate boolean values. See, what actually logical operators means, when we are going to compare two things and we want to use the logical value of that comparison to some other operation, then we will use these operators. And we will use this as a logical and operator, and this is a logical not, and logical or symbol, it is not that one. Actually logical or is, if we are using 10, logical R is this one, two straight lines with 11, 10. I am printing 10 here. Print console dot log 10. What it is 10 or 10 means, 10 is a true value, so it is printing true. But console dot log of true, false. Either one, if like we know that, right, logical values of R and n, when we are comparing two, one is true, another one is false, we will get true as the output. Another one is like we are having false. If the both are false, we will get as a false. That is the actually logical or operator. It is a small mistake, ignore it. In bitwise operators, actually bitwise operators are something operators we used to do operations at bit level of the uh, stored variables. For example, when I am doing OR operator between 10 and 10, it will work at bit level. We use only one end symbol, one straight line. uh, XOR will be the power symbol, simultaneously symbol will be for not, and this is for left shift, this is for like right shift. 5 and 1 is 1. Actually this one is one means like at bit level it is doing its operation and it is giving that. And we are having ternary operator. What is ternary operator means? Ternary operator is something like a shortcut form for the if statement, if else statement. Here, for example, status is a variable we are trying to declare here. Uh, Status is being declared with adult or minor based on this condition. what is the condition? Age is greater than or equal to 18. If the age is really greater than 18, then we will be declared as a adult. Otherwise it will be declared as a minor status. Here, what is the value of age? If age value is 18. So when we are trying to print status, it is giving adult. I think you are clear with the operators. We are running out of time, so I'm going somewhat fast here. If you want anything, you just mention in the chat box. I will sort it out. Difference between double equals and three equals symbols in JavaScript. I already mentioned you. We are using double equals for when we don't need any like comparison for the types of the data variables we using in this statement. For example, 5 equals to 5. If you want to compare this number with a string, a number with some logical value, we don't need any sort of type things there, then we will use double equals to. But we strictly want to compare those things, then we will use three equals. Objects in JavaScript. Okay. Before going to this, if you guys having any doubt, let me know now. Null act as a placeholder. Null act as a placeholder. Like placeholders are something which you mention in um, forms, right? That is what you are mentioning here, Akhilesh. Placeholder can be null, but their null will be declared as a string. Here the null is the something we, for some sort of time we are going to maintain the value as null, because we don't know. For example, see, I want to create a login id for a login page for the employees who are coming to my company, but they're not yet joined our company. Then I am going to create ids for everyone, but when it comes to the field of name, I don't know who were recruited, who were going to join my company. So I will give null value to those values for some particular of time. Like for example, after 10 days, two members are going to join my company, so I have created idea like login credentials for both of those guys, and those guys were not recruited yet. Recruitment is going on, so I will give null value. Once they joined, I will change the null value, like value of the variable, to their names. That's the clear usage of null value. Same thing what happens in the DBMS. So when it comes to objects, objects are very important in JavaScript because we are entire web development, uh, like connecting HTML CSS with JavaScript is completely dependent on a single object called DOM. What is actually DOM? We will discuss it later in the coming slides. DOM is the object. Entire document, HTML document, is act as a single JavaScript object. We will manipulate that object to see the changes in the direct website. How these objects in JavaScript are being declared means we are having four like types. First one is like key value pairs. We will, in the curly braces itself, we will declare this object as a key value. We can also have the function as the value, because here we can declare function as a variable, right? So we can also declare function as a function value in the object. This is the first method. Then in second method, we use the classes type of thing, like constructor will be there, method will be there for the object declaration. When we are using this class type of thing, the declaration, the like new object can be created using new object uh, brackets, these type of method. When we are want to change a value of this key value pairs, then we will access these key value pair using key and the object name. Here see, we declare car, const car is equal to new object. What is actually the new object means? New like car will have two attributes, like two key value pairs, two features. What are those features? Means brand and model. What is a brand? Here we are going to change this brand name as Toyota and model name as Corolla. And year is also a feature of that car, so we are going to change this feature to 2020. And one more thing, like using factory functions. There is some functions called factory functions in JavaScript. What are these factory functions means? These factory functions work is to create objects, arrays, or something like JavaScript objects. Let's take it. So here we are creating a function called create person. Who is the person? Person is an object. So whenever you call this function, it will return you a return means like you will get it as a output. So you will get a object named like it's a person object type of person with the name alias and 25. This is the one of the type of object declaration. 1 minute, guys. There is no use in giving null to const variable, so we won't do that. Can you see my screen again? Yeah. We can't use null value with constant because there is no point of using a null with const value, because the main purpose of the null value is what I have mentioned earlier. So now objects in JavaScript is, these are the declarations of object in JavaScript. Now we can go for objects in like these are the methods in objects. Like if you want to get some keys of the all the keys as an array in the object, we will use this method. Object dot values is to get the values of the object, and entries are something key value. We, if you want to get an array with the key value base of object, then you will use object dot entries. Conditional statements. Conditional statements are very important thing in every language, programming language, because why we are using programming language to make some decisions without our interruption, without our inputs, without our taking care every time. So the mission should take its own decision with the conditions we have mentioned earlier. So if statement, if else statement, these are the conditional statements we are having in any programming language. It is very much important to have these type of features in our language. So JavaScript also holds conditional statements. What actually the conditional statements we are having in JavaScript means if statement, if else statement. What actually if statement? If statement means it is it will be written as if like in a bracket we will have condition. If this condition is true, the a chunk of code which is being present in between curly braces of this if statement will be executed once the condition is true. If the condition is false, the statement or the chunk of code which is being kept inside this if statement will not be executed. And but this is for the single like if this it is, if this is true, we are going to make the this chunk of code to be executed. But what if this condition is not correct also, we are going to print something else. For example, here if age is greater than or equal to 18, we are printing you are eligible to vote. But I am also wanted to print you are not eligible to vote. Then what I have to do means I should use if else statement. If else statement, what it will do in this if this condition is true, it will execute first chunk of the code first, like curly something the code between curly braces of this if statement. Then else statement will be followed by the if statement. Then if this condition is not true, if it is false, this the chunk of code in this else part will be executed. I think most of you guys know what actually if else statement. Now if else if like if else if like we are not having single condition here, we are having multiple conditions. Then what we should do, we should use if else if condition, like condition statement. For example, we are going to grade our students without our interruption, like in once upon a time, if every teacher have to calculate all the total scores of every student in his class, then he should give grades based on the total score. But when we are going to normalize it, we are going to organize it in, with our coding and our programming. So we will mention this in if, else if, and else type of conditional statements. Like for example, if some condition is true, then we have to execute this chunk of code. See here, right side we are having example, right? Let marks is equal to 85, and the condition is marks greater than or equal to 90. uh, if this is correct, no, it is not correct, so we won't get this as output. But how it will be executed means, it will first check this condition, is this condition correct, marks greater than or equal to 90? No. Let's check next condition. No, is it else? No, it is not else, it is else if, and it is having one more condition. Let's go, let's check it. Okay, it is greater than or equal to 75. Yes, our statement is correct with in this case. Then our condition is true. When our condition is true, I have to execute this chunk of code. So console.log means this grade A will be printed. If these any of these conditions is not correct, then we will go with else statement. Now switch statement. They if the use case is too high, like you will having lot of conditions, lot of range segment, like you are going to, we are having only three grades here. What if we are having seven or eight grades? We will write if else if again and again. It will create a readability issue with our code, the modularity issue with our code. So every programmer don't want this type of language. So JavaScript also holds switch statement, which will have a single condition. Based on this condition, you will have case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4. For every case, you will have a break statement and a chunk of code. If that case is correct, or based on that condition, you will, that chunk of code will be executed. And if any condition, if all conditions are false for our current value, then default, there will be a default value what chunk of code should be uh, printed for the default means, we will fix that too. For example, see here we are having day 3, day is equal to 3, switch condition is day, means number. What is actually here, it is 3. If the value is 1, we have to print Monday. Value is 2, we have to print Tuesday. If value is nothing, like not 1, not 2, we are having only till 2, 3 here. So if it is 4, then default statement will be implemented, run in the backend, and you will get invalid day. That is for the conditional statements. And in JavaScript, as like if you know Java, in Java you will have for each loop. Similarly, in JavaScript you will have two loops. One is for objects and one is for arrays. Like for each, okay, sorry, we are not started with loops, right? First, what are the loops means, if we want to execute a similar chunk of code multiple times. For example, I want to calculate total score of a student in my class, but I am having total 25 students. I should not, what I should do means, I will run loop on all their marks arrays. So I will execute same type of code. Like for example, let's consider only there are two students. Two students will have four subjects. 4 marks will be there. So I have to add, for first student I have to add 4 marks, and for second student I have to add his four subjects marks. So what I will do, I will write the code for adding four subjects marks, and I will execute a for loop on him, like a students array. So every, for each student I will calculate marks. Like that it will be executed. This will be like I want to print iteration 5 times. 5 times I want to print the number like 1 to 5. In spite of writing console.log1, console.log2, console.log3, I am using for loop here. what how I should use for loop here. For will be written conditions, not in brackets. Here we don't use conditions. We should mention the variable. First we will declare the variable, then we will specify the range, how many times I have to implement. We will fix that with the range mentioned here. Then we will give the operation like increment or decrement, whatever the operation we are going to give, we will give that. Okay. This is for loop and while loop. And when it comes to while loop, we like when we use for loop means we know the range of the thing what we are going to print. Like I want to print one numbers from 1 to 5, I will execute for loop. But while loop means I know the condition, but I don't know how many times I should do that. I will use that condition in the while, and I will write the chunk of the code I want to execute again and again, and I will use the while loop here. See, I know how many time like if count value is less than or equal to 5, I have to print the statement. But I don't know how many times I should print the statement, so I just kept count less than or equal to 5, a statement, uh, like a condition in the while loop, and I just wrote I want to print count value in console.log, and then I'm going to increment the count value. So here what will be printed for first time, I will be printed, means 1 will be printed. Second time it is less than 5, 2, so 2 will be printed, 3 will be printed, 4 will be printed, then 5 will be printed because it is less than or equal to 5. Okay. So loops, do while loop. What is actually the do while loop means? You will do the work which is mentioned in do, like like between the curly braces of do keyword is the a chunk of code to be executed when the statement or the condition mentioned in the while is true. First we will execute. What actually difference between while loop and do while loop means, in while loop first you will check the condition, then the chunk of the code will be executed. But in do while loop, first the chunk of the code will be executed, then the condition will be checked. And for off loop is something like for each loop in JavaScript, which will be used for arrays in JavaScript. For loop is it is also similar to the for loop, but it works in syntactically it is somewhat different. For let fruit of fruits, like fruits, what is fruits here? Fruits is array here. So fruits array is having apple, banana and cherry. So this fruits array, each string will be taken and being printed in the uh, chunk of the code. Like first we no need of writing any condition or something. It if we are using for of loop, it itself will be declared and come to the fruit variable, then that will be printed in the uh, output box. Then similar to arrays we are having for of loop, we are having one more loop for objects, that is for in loop. In for objects, see, yeah, we are having person object here. Who is person? Person is a object. It is having key value pairs name, age, and city. Name is John, age is 30, city is New York. We are executing for loop on this object. For example, we have to print every feature of this person. Like I have to print name, I have to print age, I have to print city. Then I will just use for in loop for key in person. What is key? Actually, the key value pairs we have, right? All the keys are the key set of this object. For example, so first name will be stored in the key, and person of key means what is key here, name is a key here, that will be executed, and first John will be printed, 30 will be printed, New York will be printed. Like this our loops in JavaScript will work. Then What are actually strings in JavaScript? Actually, when it comes to strings in JavaScript, string is very useful and strong thing in every programming language. Similarly, in JavaScript, we use strings everywhere in the websites, and we have to manipulate it many times. So it is having many inbuilt functions. Basically, strings are sequence of characters, as we know. Um, to We can use strings to store and manipulate text, and strings are immutable. What is the this word immutable means? We can't change. We can't save the changed string into the same location, so it will be stored in different locations actually, meaning their content cannot be changed after creation. Here itself mentioned that their content cannot be changed after creation, though new strings can be created for operation. For example, in the example here, const str is equal to I am a string. Yeah, we are using const here, we can't change it, we know that. But if we are using let name is equal to um, Doraemon, then name is here, then name is equal to I want, then I'm changing it to Harry Potter. We can see that the value of name is being changed here. Still, in the memory location, Doraemon is being pointed somewhere. That means Doraemon is already there in the memory, but Harry Potter is the something new created in the memory, and it is being pointed to the name variable. That is what happening here. So we call it as immutable. We can declare strings with single quotes, double quotes, and template literals like backticks. What are the backticks means? Like see, name is there, right? In keyboard, you will have backtick in top left of your keyboard. You will have a backslash here, backtick here. I'm writing class. Uh, I should write Tom. I should use backtick, right? Similarly, the name will be SN. Why we use this backtick and it is called literals. We will discuss that later. And these are the methods. As I mentioned, strings will be used at many places in our web development phases. So we having some strong methods to change the values of strings and to work on strings. What is the first one? Length. Length is to calculate the string's length. Like for example, we have how many characters are present in the string, even with the gap and all. To uppercase means we will change entire string in the to the uppercase. You can see the example and outputs are here, right? To lowercase means the like everything will be changed to lowercase. Caret means in the string, if you want to access the particular thing of that string, for example, uh, name is there, right? Name dot caret indexing will start from one in JavaScript. What is one here? T will be the index 0, O will be the index 1. So we are getting output as O. Tom. What is the name actually here? It is a string with the thing stored in it as Tom. So at the character at 1 is O. So it is getting printed there. Mm, this is the string methods. We are having slice, substring, another type like attributes are different. Replace will be there, trim will be there, split will be there, concat will be there. These are the basic functions. You can refer documentations to learn how these things will work. And one more thing is arrays in JavaScript. What are arrays in JavaScript? As we know, we are having arrays in Python and Java. Similarly, we have arrays in JavaScript also. But these things work somewhat differently, but similar to those things. Here, if you want to declare, like we are declaring this object using curly braces, right? But in array, we have to declare with square braces. See, fruits are declared here using array literals like this, and using array constructor. We can declare it as let numbers is equal to new array of brackets in the normal curve brackets. We will mention the what are the things we are want to store in the array. Next, array also consists of many methods because we should manipulate these arrays. We should use these arrays for multiple purposes when we are using it in our websites and all. So we are having length push. Push means if we want to push a item into the array, we will use push here. Let's declare a array arr. Let arr is equal to 1, 2, 5. This will be our array. Printing the array. I will get the array. At each I will get the definition of the array, like at index 0 we are having 1, index 1 we what is the length of the array, it is 5. And similarly, if array dot push, I want to add one more element like 6, it will be added at the end of the array. You can see after 5 we are 6 is added. And pop array dot pop, 6 will be popped out. Now if we see, only previous array will be there. These are the methods in array. Similarly, you can explore other methods also. These are also methods in arrays. There are a lot of methods will be there because we should do multiple calculations and manipulations to the arrays. And objects in JavaScript. JavaScript like same thing. We already discussed these things. And now functions. Functions are something which are completely different from other languages when we are considering JavaScript as a language, because whenever you clicking on a button, whenever you submitting a form, what actually background doing is it is executing a function. They are called actually middlewares or the APIs in the backend side, but they are the JavaScript functions. Even we use Python for the backend also. It depends. But in what actual different, we already learned something different about functions here. Function can be declared into a variable in JavaScript. So there will be multiple types of declaring a function in the JavaScript. A function in JavaScript is a block of code designed to perform a specific task. Functions are executed where when they are called or invoked. Types of functions. See, function declaration, we are having multiple types. First one is named function. What is a named function? This first screenshot we are having, right? That is called named function. Function, great. It is having some argument and it is returning something. This is called named function. Next one is expression based function. What is expression based function means? We already learned like we can store a function into a variable. This if we are declaring function like this, then it is called expression function. Then arrow function, there is a some like separate way of writing function in JavaScript. It is called arrow function. This is what you can see in most of the code bases. Like for websites, they will use arrow functions. They are very useful. Like it will be declared to a variable. Here we are declaring it to a const variable greet. Like this curly braces, like brackets is there, right? In brackets, we will write the arguments. Then we will have arrow. Then we will have the what is the chunk of code we are going to execute. Then anonymous functions. Actually, JavaScript is of asynchronous nature. It is not synchronous nature. In the early slides, we have discussed that it is not like multi-threading in Java. We don't have any multi-threading procedures or any two processes running simultaneously in JavaScript. So we use these asynchronous functions or anonymous functions to like they are not named. We can't call it directly. So they are called anonymous functions. We use this in web development. DOM structure. DOM structure is one of the most important thing in JavaScript because DOM structure is document object model. Actually, the entire HTML model is stored as a object in the JavaScript, um, like in the websites. For example, here we can see document. Document is a object. The entire thing is being highlighted, right? That is document. When I am printing document, I got an object as output. What it is, what I am getting? Object as a output. This object will have header, body. This is the entire thing, like entire Chrome page, Chrome home page. I got as a single object, JavaScript object, and this single JavaScript object is called document. So that document structure is called document object model. This is the what we use for manipulating something, changing values in the websites and all. We will do the same thing in coming. We are going to do a small activity now. After this topic is done, then you will get how it actually working. So, what is DOM structure? DOM represents a HTML document as a tree. Why it be calling it as a tree means the root node will be HTML element, like the entire document element. Then child nodes will be head, body, divs, or paragraphs, etc. Each element in the HTML document corresponds to a DOM node. So in this way, we having a object which acts like a tree. This structure is called DOM structure in the web development in JavaScript. Accessing DOM. How we can access elements in DOM? For example, we I think you guys learned in HTML sessions and CSS sessions. So you will have ID, class, tag, and CSS uh, elements we have, right? You will give whenever you are assigning a element, like creating an element. For example, you are going to creating a division like div. Then you will assign an ID for it. ID will be unique one or else a class. Uh, we will collect those class like those elements using these IDs and classes. See, let element is equal to document. What is the document? Document is something we have printed here. It is the entire HTML document of the website. So the element will be getting by dot get element by ID. This is a function. Document dot get element by ID. This is a function. We are going to mention a ID here. Then we will get a that particular element. Then we will use that element. How we are going to use, we will see in 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And similarly, we will having another function called get element by class name. We will get the element by class name and by the direct name of the HTML element, like division, div, or H1, H2, paragraph, something. If you want to get the CSS based on CSS, then you will get the element. It will have query selector. Document dot query selector is a function. Uh, like dot my class. My class means what are the classes you have provided. Using that, you will get the first element with that class name, and then query selector for all the elements which were named with that particular class will be stored into the elements variable. Now DOM manipulation, like document object model. This DOM should be manipulated to make our websites work, right? So how these things will be manipulated? We are having like it is an object, like a common see object in JavaScript. How this object in JavaScript will be accessed? Those key value pairs are there, right? Person, that name, person of square brackets internally you can write a key value. Similarly, this object, the entire document object we are getting, right, it will have key value pairs. We will use those key value pairs. For example, at element document dot we are getting a element using its ID, and it will have a text content. Text content will be a key value of a document object. Then that text content will be changed to new text content. So here in this way the text content which already present in the uh, website will be changed. I know it will be a little bit heavy when I am discussing all these topics together because JavaScript is a huge topic. I just we are just want to deal with web development front end part. So you should know how this JavaScript is being implemented with HTML and CSS. That's why I'm discussing every uh, like what are the topics required here. It will somewhat messy for you. I'm sorry for that. We can't do anything. We are having very limited time. So try to understand. We will also give the recordings. You can like check them, and if you want to get the resource you can use other resources also. You have YouTube and everything. Just don't stop learning web development. It is very interesting one because whenever doing DSA or something you can't see the output, but when we are doing web development you can see the output. There will be colors, there will be a lot of stuff included in that. Till now, if you're any one of you having any doubts, I'm open for doubts. Is clearing my doubt. Okay. Any one of you having any doubts, kindly you can ask now. We will go with the activity. How many of you are having VS Code with you? Okay. We will do a small activity now. Open your VS Code if it is possible from your laptop. uh, this is the activity we are going to do. What is this activity? This is a small game we are going to build now. Confirm, can you see my screen, like VS Code screen? Give me a thumbs up if you have seen that. Okay, okay guys, then let's I will drop a CSS file to you in the chat box. You just create a file called style.css and add this code to it. You just create style.css and add this code to it. Okay, I am dropping this in the chat box. Did you got my point? Oh, we can't paste everything here. I will paste it in WhatsApp, then you will get entire code. Give me a minute. I am keeping it in WhatsApp group. I shared the code. You just create a file called in style.css, demo.html, script.js. Three files should be created. Confirm me if you created that. Okay. So style.css is ready now. In demo.html, you open your demo.html page. You will have this is the boilerplate code for the HTML. This is like we have to write it for mandatory to work on the HTML. So let's do the main task. So here we are going to link a style sheet. What is the style sheet? The thing I have shared with you. Type is style sheet and href. Href you have to write the file name style.css. Head is there in body. In body we are going to create a container called game container, and then in game container you will have h1. What is the h1? Guess a the number between 1 to 100. Then I will add a para here. What is a para? Yes, actually this should be. Let's keep it here. Yes, the number game. Try to follow me. Uh, and then I will take a input here. Input type will be number. Input type is number. ID. I am giving the ID. Don't change names of IDs and all because we have already created the style.js CSS. It will create a issue. ID will be guess input placeholder. Placeholder is enter your guess, and I am going to give a range of minimum. 1 will be the minimum value, max will be 100. Then I will have a button. I will give this button ID as submission, submit button, and it will have the text submit. Then we are having one more div now. It will have the class as message. This is the div, and this message div will have a para down here. This message div will be filled in future by the JavaScript attempts. In the para, I will create a span element. This span element will have an ID. ID will be attempts. Span will have initially 0. Now again I will have one more button. Button will have a ID. ID is reset button. Style. Style is like initially this will not be displayed, so we are giving display none to it. In this type it will have play again. Okay, we're done. Let's connect script to it. Script will be added, like source file will be script.js. So this will be our HTML, and now yeah, if you are done to it, we don't have time, uh, so I will explain the code for JavaScript here. I have already had some code in script.js file, In spite of writing it again, let's make it understandable to you. I will drop the same code into the WhatsApp group, paste it in the script.js file. First, let us, if you guys are getting my point, let's see what actually we are going to make. Okay, there is an issue with the, there is an issue. Let me sort it out. Script.js. Okay, we didn't save it right. We have to save it again. We have to save it. Control S. Let's save and try again. Let's check. Similar issue. So this is the CSS file. This is the script file. And this is the HTML. We created everything. Play again. We added the script. We added the style. Then enter your best. Let's connect correctly. Yeah, we are almost do it correctly. Let's check one more time. Okay, we are getting it now. See, this is a game we are going to build. How it works means, for example, we have to guess a number between 1 to 100. For example, I'm guessing a 50. Then it will give, no, it is too low. You guess somewhat higher number. So what I should do. So I will guess something between 50 and 100, right? I will give 75. It is too high. And I will guess something between 50 and 75. Then I will write 60. It is too high. So it will be from 50 to 60. So I will give 55. It is too high. So I will give 52. It is too low. Then I will give 54. So I got the congratulations message now. When I am submitting 51, I guessed it correctly. When I guessed means I after the 6 attempts I guessed. So till now I don't have any play again button. Now it is got displaced. Like again I am, it got displayed. So how it is actually working means, see, first of all, we are creating a, there is a inbuilt method called math.random. It will create some numbers from 1 to 100. To create that particular number, we are having this, like math.random, a number is created, and that number is getting multiplied to 100 to keep it in between range from 0 to 100. So attempts will be initialized with 0. Then what I am doing here means using document, like document model, the DOM model. I am accessing document of this website, and in that document, I am getting, like I use various IDs and classes here, right? Like guest input, submit button, message, attempts. These I am using those IDs, and I'm getting those elements here, like attempts display, message, submit button, reset button, everything I am getting that. Then I'm adding event listeners. What are event listeners in JavaScript means, we are going to, whenever I am clicking on the object to the which this event listener is being added, I will this event will be tracked by the event listener, and that based on that event, this process the function which are being here, like check guess is a function mentioned here in this event listener as a callback, means whenever I'm clicking on that button, this check guess method should be implemented. What actually check guess is doing? Check guess is a function. It is the check guess function. First, const user guess, like pass int guess input dot value, like it is taking my, whenever I'm submitting, it is taking my value, whatever the value I'm submitting there, then it is comparing it whether it is between the 1 and 100, and is it something what actually equal to the value we got here, like a secret number, it is being compared. Then it will display if it is not the secret number, and if it is not from the 1 and 100, please enter a valid number between 1 and 100 will be displayed. Let's check it, uh, whether it is working or not. Like play again, if I am clicking on play again, if I am some 250 is being entered, it will display please enter a valid number between 1 and 100, atoms at 0. So this is the chunk of code which is being made it possible. Once it is executed, atoms will be added, and atom display means the number which like the paragraph which is displaying the atoms will be accessed here. Its text content will be changed to atoms. Like if it is incremented 0 to 1, 1 to 2, it will be changed. For example, if I'm playing it correctly, see, this attempts number is changed, right? So that is what that chunk of code is discussing about. Then if user, then we are correctly comparing, like is this the number what we have actually allotted, we guessed correct. If the guess is correct, we will have the congratulations, you guessed the number. Then the class name will be changed to correct. When the class name is changed to correct, then you will get the entire thing will be changed. And this like whenever the statement is being correct, you will getting a green message here, and you will having a play again button here, right? That is what being made here. User guess is less than secret number, then we are getting the too low try again message, right? That we are using conditional statements here. We are using this three equals to operator here to compare these two things with the complete type. So I should enter only the integer value, and these are the state, like if it is not less than secret number, then you have to print too high try again. And function reset game, uh, what actually reset game means, we are playing this game, right? Let's play it again. 50, then it is too low, so I will give 75. Then it is too high, and I will give 65. Then it is too high, then I will give 65. Too high, then I will give 57. Too low, then I will give 60. Too low, I will give 63. See, 63 is the number guessed, like secret number generated now. I'm getting a message, congratulations, you guessed the number. Attempts 8. Play again button I have here. When I am clicking on play again, what is the changes being have made here? That statement is being initialized to empty, atoms is being 0. This we are not having any message here. That is what actually this function doing. See, secret number is equal to, again we are generating one more secret number, atoms are initialized to 0. What is this reset game? Reset game is the function which should be implemented when reset button is being clicked. Okay, so guess input will be again a empty string, message will be again empty string, and submit button will be false, like we can't submit until or unless we are having some value in it. So this is how the code works. As I'm not having proper time, I am explaining with the code, guys, sorry for that. If you are having any doubts, we are done with the session. You are having the activity, I will share all the documents, and I'm open for the doubts now. If you want to ask any doubts, you can get my profile links with this QR, and you can ask any doubt to me at any time. Thank you all. May I get the confirmation like you guys are clear with the points? Thank you. Uh, if you are having any doubt, let me know. Even in WhatsApp group, even after when you are dealing with your JavaScript, when you are learning it completely, we don't have time here, so we learned it in a rush mode. There will be a lot of things to be learned in JavaScript. Something more advanced topics will be there. If you are stuck anywhere, you can ask. Even the if you are when you are going through the recording, you got some new doubt, you can ask, or else you can ask now itself if you are having any doubts.
Yeah, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing great. It's time for your final quiz. Here's a quick recap of rules. This time, all questions are single correct answer itself. Your scores will be calculated based on your speed and accuracy. All the best, everyone. The quiz link is available in your WhatsApp group and also in chat box. Yeah, it's time for your leaderboard.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Deva. That was an amazing session. Uh, Now I would finally like to conclude our web start event. Finally, it has come to an end. It has been an amazing journey of 3 days. I hope you have learned some of the basic concepts of web development. So this is just a beginning, guys. You need to learn a lot of stuff. You need to explore a lot when it comes to web development. And also, I would like to ask you to give us a feedback. I'll be forwarding in this chat box and also in your WhatsApp groups. So do fill out the feedback from which would really give us some suggestions and give us your opinion. We would like to know more. And also do follow us on Instagram or LinkedIn handles and also the YouTube. We'll uploading these recordings as well. And that's it, guys. Thank you for making this session amazing. Thank you. Yeah. And yeah, Deva, would you like to speak anything?
Not actually. Actually, concluding JavaScript in one session is completely a hard task. So I think most of them have many doubts. I just want to suggest them to continue learning web development. You just start again from HTML. You work on some projects. You just learn JavaScript. It will take, I think, a month for you to understand all the concepts in clean and clear way. And that is my suggestion from my side. And I just want to thank them from our IEI for registering to the event and making our event successful and staying it throughout the event and participating in a very good manner. That's it, Ajay.
Yeah, Deva, thank you. Okay, guys, I would like to share our Instagram handle also. Please follow us and support our posts. And we'll also posting the quizzes top performers as well. We'll also provide the merit certificates to the best candidates, the top three candidates. And also your participation certificate for the event will be provided, which will be useful for your profile as well. That's it from my side. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, see you soon again in the next event. Stay tuned.